Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Marketplace Mondays. I am your host, Geralda Larkins. I'm your visionary strategist and CEO of Geralda Larkins Consulting and Impact Kingdom Ministries, where we teach kingdom essentials for success in life, in ministry, and in the marketplace. I'm so grateful to be here with the society members in the house. We're here at Legacy Vision Incubator, and it is such an honor and a privilege to have this dynamite woman of God sitting here next to me. I love her. Y'all gonna hear for yourself why she's so lovable. This is Shirley Toliver. She's a human resources leader who is determined to live life on purpose. She has a global movement called Life on Power, which is determined to empower women globally to live their lives powerfully and create powerful legacies. Shirley's mission is to convince women that unless they are living within their passion and purpose, you haven't yet shown up for your real life's work. Life on Power empowers women to stand tall in their passion and purpose. Shirley is a transformational speaker, a life and leadership coach, and senior HR leader. Welcome, Ms. Toliver.
Thank you, Geralda. Thank you for having me tonight.
I know I said a lot, and I can say a whole lot more about you, but why don't you share with the audience a little bit about Shirley Toliver?
That's exactly who I am. I've been in HR for nearly 20 years.
Yes.
So I'm a senior HR leader at a global transportation company, UPS. And then I am the Chief Power Officer of Life on Power.
Yes.
And my life's mission is to make sure that you leave here with none of your gifts and your dreams in the dirt. That you expel it all while you're here on this earth. And thank you for having me, Geralda.
Thank you, Shirley, for being here. We've known each other for quite a long time, and it's because we're both in the human resources field. And I remember meeting you, even though you were always out in the community, but we really connected when you were when we were part of NAAAHR, National Association of African Americans in Human Resources,
Yes.
and you were just. You had the same smile you got today. Is the same smile back then that drew me to you, that made me feel super welcome. And so you've gone on to lead that organization, and the woman that we are today, having so many accolades in the community, from one of 50 most powerful African American leaders in our community from Legacy Magazine, and so many others. How did you get to be the woman you are? Take us through your journey, your professional journey, your entrepreneurial journey to get to be the Shirley Toliver we see today.
And so my professional journey was something that I thought was easy. Not I thought, but I knew that somehow my life centered around people. I love people. So human resources was the field that made sense. And then it got to a particular point in that field where there was something I wanted that I wasn't able to capture or get. Then, you go back to the drawing board with your vision and your prayer. So for a minute, you pray in the angry prayers. You're like, why, Lord? You said, I did. I got this. I got that. Why? And so he specifically said that, I had to turn your attention. You were being distracted. I needed you to look to the right, and you just were straight ahead.
Wow.
And I needed you to get that education and that experience, but not for what you thought. That education, that experience was for Life on Power. So I had to impart it in you somehow, and I did that through your HR journey.
Wow, so that says to me, because you're very accomplished in your HR journey, but there's been some doors that were closed, and we get angry at God, especially being in corporate America, wanting to elevate in your field, and then when those doors close, you wonder, is it you? Are you not good enough? Or what are you missing? So tell me, how are you able to overcome those no's from God? Don't nobody want to hear no from God.
Sure don't. He said what he said.
Yes.
But in all reality, did he tell you that that was going to be it, that that door was a door you were going to be open? Or he just led you on a path that took you near his will?
Yes, come on.
And so his will was life on power.
Yes.
So all I did to really manage to know was to listen to his yes.
Come on.
And hear his yes. And, you know, after being in the corporate world and having to, you know, talk about things in quantitative, you know, areas, and when you talked about women empowerment, I said, you know, but I found a lot of people that I like.
Yes.
And that's kind of soft to me. You want to take me from that to that? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, when God tells you something that doesn't sound like what you want, you try to downplay it. But you have no idea of the vision that he has, that he's already seen your future and he's just waiting for you to catch up to where he is. So I thought it was soft, and he did some research. That's what you do. You don't just pop up and say, I want this new program.
Not if you Shirley Toliver. You're going to research, find out what's going on.
So that research confirmed to me that there is a need for life on power. One of the biggest things that I was at in my HR career at a huge conference, and on the screen we talked about some of the things globally that needed to change. And water was mentioned in that, health, energy. And then it said, the Secretary of the UN in October 16 said, women empowerment is needed.
Wow.
Now, I'm there at the HR conference, but I'm about to jump out the seat and run. Because again, this is me confirming.
The baby's leaping.
Yeah, the baby's like, oh, I got some food here.
Yes.
So now it began to really resonate to me that this thing is real.
Yeah.
That now I can do this and still be quantitative.
Yes.
I can still be strategic.
Yes.
I can still have a vision and some goals. So that was my challenge, and he gave me some information that told me that I heard what I heard from the Lord, that it was exactly where he wanted me to be.
Confirmation is so important when you're about to step out and do something major like Life on Power. Life on Power is a global brand, and I love the spirit of excellence that you carry in that ministry. I said ministry because you're reaching so many people. Tell us a little bit about the mission and the vision of Life on Power. What is it all about?
Life on Power is a global vision. It's a global movement. That's one of the first things he said, which is why it resonated to me that this is something that the world needed, women empowerment. So women, we birth, and we are literally that rib that was given to us, that gave us life. It was one of the 7 true ribs. It wasn't just any rib. It was one of those 7 true ribs. That means that man couldn't stand up without that rib.
Yes.
So we hold power, we hold grace, we hold everything that the world needs in order for the world to survive.
Wow.
And Life on Power is a part of the vision that wants women globally to go from dim to powered up. When that happens, you can do sisterhood well.
Come on, wait, before we go into that, because the results of going from dim to powered up is a awesome strategy. I love when I see visionaries birthing systems and approaches. So you created this, well, God gave you, because it's so done so strategically, God gave you going from dim to powered up. Can you kind of break that down for us a little bit?
Absolutely. So DIM is an acronym. So in the Life on Power community, when we talk about DIM, it is D, the period, I, period, and M. It's for definitely and intentionally minimizing your value.
My God.
And we do that more often than we realize it. And so when we know we're powerful, though, then that means that we believe that the same power that woke Jesus up from the dead is the same access that we have.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then we are either able to recognize our dim behaviors before they become they just turn off our lights.
Yes.
And that's what the power up is. We even have a dim model.
Love that.
And literally, if you contact me and ask me for a copy, we send that to you.
Yes.
So it gives scenarios in regards to these dim areas that we all experience consistently, and then it gives you a power up strategy.
Yes.
What to do when you come in contact with that dim area. And everything we do is delivered around our 7 power principles.
Tell us about the 7 power principles, because you wrote a book about these 7 power principles.
Yes.
And and I love how they all align to the events that you end up having throughout the year. So what are the 7 power principles, and why are they so important to you?
Well, the 7 power principles, and again, I have to go back to everything about Life on Power is God's vision.
Yes.
Everything is God's vision. And so, of course, I needed to think about how to strategically deliver Life on Power. Not that just wake up and say, you all need to follow me because I done created a name and a brand.
Come on.
So how it gets delivered.
Yes.
So I created those 7 power principles by thinking, what are the things that hinder us consistently? No matter what we do and where we are, these things we're always working on. We've gotten to a point where we've accomplished, and then 2 years later, that thing we accomplished, we have to go back to it. And those 7 things are your spirituality, your relationships, your unique value, your health and wellness, your finances, your energy and your vibration, and leadership. Those are the 7 things that we're all, at some point in our lives, we're working on all the time.
Yes.
Sometimes we think we've mastered 3 of them, and there's 4 of them that we're like, okay, I get back to them later.
Right.
And then those 4 come up and those 3 come down.
Yes.
But we're always working on those 7. And you know the spirituality is number 1.
Spirituality
That
is
drills
number 1.
down.
It does. It goes down deep to the core of who you are. And I love how you made that number 1. And that's also the kickoff event that
Every
you
year.
touch on. Tell us about that kickoff event that kicks off the 7 power principles.
Every year, well, our second year was this year in January. And so year 1 last year, when God told me he wanted me to have some type of prayer party, which is how it came to me.
Right.
I was like, yeah, prayer party, Lord. Now everybody know that this came from you.
Yes.
But you told me I didn't have to like knock people over the head with the Bible to let them know that.
Yes.
But now you want me to do a prayer party. Well, what the pray up is, and that's what it's called, a pray up. You know how we turn up? That's called a pray up.
Yeah.
So we come together and we connect and we network, but we network with prayer cards.
Yes.
And so at the end of the night, we encourage everyone to leave with a prayer card. You don't have to know the person. You actually don't have to connect with them anymore for the remainder of the year. Your job and your accountability is to pray for that person's 3 prayer requests for the entire 2018.
Wow.
And so to know that somebody's praying for you no matter what, that is powerful.
So
Even
powerful.
when you feel like, things are not working out, somebody is praying for you today because they have your prayer card for 2018.
Yes.
And I have folks that met and they don't see each other again until they come to the next prayer. And they talk about the things that have happened in their lives for the last 12 months and the victories that they've had. And then they talk about, I know I could feel your prayers. And, for instance, if you were my mother who came, then she puts oil on your prayer card.
Yes,
so
she
everybody
do.
tries to get to her
Your
to make sure that
mom
she's their prayer partner.
Your mom is, you always bring your mom around. I love how you honor your mother and your husband as well. That's my brother Joe. Shout out one time for Joe. You bring him, and it's like you bring your village with you. Even
Absolutely.
Kay, your chief service officer, is always with you. How important is it for you to have a team around you?
My team is the provision.
Yes.
So there's nothing I can deliver by myself. So when I was given this vision, there were people that were already aligned to be the provision to help me out.
Wow.
And so I couldn't do this without Chief Service Officer is Kay Blake.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And she is awesome.
Yeah.
And she gives 100. So there's nothing that she doesn't give to Life on Power that she doesn't give to her day job.
Yes.
She's training for a major school board. So then she comes and gives me not the leftovers. She gives me all her overflow for Life on Power. She believes in the division. My husband, when I told him about it, he's just like me. He's very strategic. So he asked me, so tell me how this is gonna happen though. It sounds good, baby. But tell me.
I'm picturing him saying this because they like, if you see her husband, they like twins. Y'all look just alike to me. So y'all like brother and sister talking to each other, baby. How are you going to
So tell me how you going to do this.
Yes.
So what you going to do here and what it's going to look like.
Yes.
What it's going to feel like. And so I had to have that together before I came to Joe.
And it looks, and it all is an alignment. It all flows. So it's like to get to this space, tell us about the events that Life on Power are delivering to God's people, because just because you got pretty cards and just because everything looks good on social media and everything's in alignment, you gotta now show up
Yes.
Okay? And when you show up, Shirley, you show up in excellence. So tell me about the events that you've been putting on. What has stuck out to you? What is like the highlight for 2018?
The highlight for 2018 is our second annual luncheon.
Come on, I can't wait. What is it?
Our second annual luncheon.
Yes.
What if she knew she was powerful luncheon?
Yeah.
And that luncheon is set up so that even if you think you've gotten to the hierarchy of power,
Yes.
you're going to discover some dim areas at that luncheon.
Wow.
Because it's in June, strategically.
Yes.
You got half of the year gone.
Uh-huh.
You got another 6 months so that you can finish 2018 strong. And so you recognize some of those dim areas. We have our speakers are male and female, because I don't want to give you just what I need.
Yes.
So if your psyche hears that male voice more than that female voice, I got you. We open up. We open up for the creative.
Yes.
Every year, this year, it'll be spoken word by Quick the Poet. So if that resonates to you, that is music to your ears, I got you.
You got it. You
Yeah.
got it. She got you. Listen, what was that question? How did you create that question? Because that question gets you to sit down and really think, if
Yes.
I could do all things, if I could truly believe that I can do all things through Christ, that's how I interpret that
Yes.
question. What if she knew she was powerful?
Yes.
Like, how did you end up, how did that come to be, that title for your luncheon?
Well, that title also goes back to a question God asked me. When I was questioning about, life on power being solved, even sometimes throughout my career, when I know that I didn't show up as big and bright as I should have shown up. And so he asked me, as I was going through this thing, he said, "Don't you know I'm powerful, daughter?"
Wow.
And so that, to me, what I heard was, if I knew I was powerful, I wouldn't question what he asked me to do. And from then on, I'm writing in my journal.
Yeah.
If you follow me, I always talk about writing and journaling.
Yes.
And so everything being delivered now, God gave to me the journal in 2009, 2010, 2008. And I worked with a coach for a whole year before I launched. And she noticed in those journals, I said the word power a lot. So Life on Power was created. And then when I put that question that God asked me in the journal, and I went back reading it one day, and I wrote down, what if I knew I was powerful? Then what if she knew she was powerful? I said, let me start just looking at a piece of paper. And I called my graphic artist and said, hey, do something with this with my colors.
Yes.
And what if she knew she was powerful? It became a brand of Life on Power. And that is the name of the luncheon, the second annual What If She Knew She Was Powerful
When is
luncheon.
it going to be?
It is Saturday, June 30th in Sunrise, Florida at the Doubletree Hilton Sawgrass, 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. It is your summer event that you do not want to miss. I promise you. Not just because I said it, but I promise you, you will leave there. Even if you walked in knowing that you had everything covered, you'll leave there identifying the dim area and excited about your power up for the second half of 2018.
Amen. How do we register?
You go to lifeonpower.com and click on register here. That's it.
That's it.
Lifeonpower.com, click on register here, and then you are in. And I'm excited to see everyone listening to the sound of my voice today. I would love to meet you in person. Those folks that follow Geralda, follow me. I would love to meet you in person. I promise you, it's a can't miss event for the summer.
It is, and I'm excited about coming to see all the amazing speakers. You have, of course, your What If She Knew She Was Powerful panel. I believe the Power panel is going to be in place
again. There are two panels.
Okay.
The Power of Wealth. So we're going to be talking about a wealth mindset. Not saving money, not life insurance even, a wealth mindset, because that's a part of legacy.
Yes.
Remember, our vision is to create powerful legacy.
Yes.
Wealth helps you to create powerful legacy. So those panelists, I have the controller from MyPay, I have Hyacinth from Henderson Financial,
Yes.
I have Dion moderating, she's a VP at PNC.
Powerful.
So these folks, and someone from UBS in wealth management, these folks talk, dream, sleep, and wake up with wealth on their minds. And then I have Trisha Love. So all of them, just wealth is what is on their mind, and they're going to impart that into you.
And that's so important. Man, Shirley, this luncheon is changing lives. It's changed lives the first year, and now it's such an awesome thing to be bringing it in again this year on another level. So congratulations on that. You are in the marketplace, literally.
Yes.
You work 9 to 5, okay? You are HR leader. You can't just walk around saying Jesus said, okay? So we know that you have to be the salt and the light in the world. I know you're not ashamed of the gospel.
Absolutely not.
We worship together. And so for us to go out into the marketplace, how does that translate? How does your faith permeate your sphere of influence every day?
You should be set apart. So when you show up, they should know that you showed up.
Yes.
Your spiritual man, your spirituality should know there's something different about that person.
Yes.
While chaos is going on, you should be that guiding force.
Yes.
When chaos is happening. They should be drawn to you. Now, I'm always going to say, I don't know why. I want to tell you all my business.
Yes.
I don't know why. I think that I've been getting that for years. I don't know why I just told you this, told you that. It is because it's not me. It's the spirit that lives inside of me that you're talking to, because that's soothing them. And so everything I do, even when I didn't honor like I should have, then I have enough honor for God to go back and say, sister, I didn't honor you very well in that meeting with those folks.
Yes.
So I apologize.
Wow.
And those little things like that, let them know she different.
She's different. When you went and
different.
did that was different from what the world would have, how the world would answer that question of course you're in a space, conflict arises, people trying to jockey for position in corporate America, and you go back and allow the Holy Spirit to lead you to go make that right.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're going to remember that.
Oh, they're going to remember that. But the person who will remember if I don't do it is God. So let me tell you. Let me get up from here and do my thing.
That conviction, right?
Ooh, that conviction will get you.
You okay?
You can't sleep. The numbers you're talking about, you can't hardly see them.
Yeah. She's telling, this is some real talk. When you are called, okay, and God is dealing with you, you can't do things. You can't just do people any kind of way. You know? So it's so good to hear you say it. And people see you out there and you have a reach, you have a draw from not just Christians, you know, but just all sorts of people with different viewpoints and different, just a diverse view of the world are drawn to Life on Power. How important is diversity to you in accomplishing what God has called you to do?
Absolutely, because power doesn't have a nationality, a color, an ethnic race.
Yes.
It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have any of that. Power everybody has access to power. And so those folks that connect with me, you feel the same, no matter what your race is, your nationality, or your gender is, because I just love you,
Yes.
the person. That's it.
And you walk into a room, ever since I can remember, I remember Shirley, because you remember your smile. You do remember when you're in your presence because you on 10, okay? Shirley would be like, hi, and make you feel like you're the most special person in the world. It's true, real talk. So now, it's like now that you're birthing your own baby, you're nurturing Life on Power, how are you able to balance all of the service work that you do still and work 9 to 5 and you're a wife and you're a mom? How do you balance it all?
So I had to give up something, but there's a way I gave it up, and it was given up strategically. So serving is in my DNA.
Yes.
And so, yeah, if I just love you, then I'm going to show up to anything that you're delivering, because I just love you, and I want to make sure that you continue to power up. So I think that someone being there means something to you. And so I can't deliver Life on Power, though, like I need to, if I'm showing up all the time. So I'll do strategic things like buy purchase tickets and say, hey, Life on Power is raffling off this particular event.
Oh, nice.
Currently, I'm in a scholarship partnership. $1,000 is being submitted for a college scholarship. And so I'm collaborating a lot, because if I just show up for you here, then Life on Power won't be able to show up for the world.
Come on.
And Life on Power is global.
Amen.
So I need to be able to do that, so I'll support you in another way. You may not see as much as that, but you'll feel it.
And that's being a good steward, I think, of your resources, of your time. And I think as God elevates people in places of influence and leadership, that you can be trusted to manage time and resources in an effective manner to do what he's called you to do.
Yes.
So that's awesome. All right, well, what words of encouragement would you share with those people out there that are in the marketplace? They do feel that proverbial pull, okay, to do something great. What words of empowerment would you share with them?
3 words. You are qualified.
Ooh, I like that.
If you've already gone through prayer and the vision has already been set plain for you and you've heard it plainly, then you just have to believe and know you are qualified. God doesn't give any of his good stuff to folks that are not qualified.
Come on.
So you are qualified. Just keep saying that to yourself. Write it down. Write in your journal. Go back to it and remind yourself of Jeremiah 29:11 and what he's already said about your future. That your future is to prosper.
Yes.
So you are qualified. Those 3 words would get you over the hill, through the river every time.
Amen. You are qualified. That is awesome. Okay, well, how do people get in contact with you? Tell us. I know you have a book club currently going on.
Yes.
In addition to, yes, we're revving up for the luncheon, but you're also engaged in your book club. I want to just tell the world how to get in contact with you and how to join your upcoming events.
LifeOnPower.com is where you would go to subscribe so you can get all the information about the events. Also, follow my business page on Facebook, which is just Life on Power, no spaces. On IG is Shirley L. Toliver. You got to use that L in the middle of that. It is the LinkedIn is Shirley Toliver, and then Facebook, if you just want to do my personal page, that's Shirley Toliver. You can find me everywhere with just that name, but LifeOnPower.com allows you to subscribe to us and take a look at all of our events. Our book club is amazing. That's happening this year. Our luncheon June 30th, and we also have a retreat in Jamaica October 11th.
You taking them out to Jamaica?
To Jamaica, the P5
goodness.
Experience.
Wow.
You're going to travel through your blueprint for success, your blueprint for fulfillment, and you'll have 5 days, 4 nights there with the Life on Power team.
You don't want to sleep on Life on Power. They are determined with this woman of God at the helm to get you to show up, power up, and leave a legacy of God's love in this earth. I'm just so grateful to have you, and thank you so much again for joining Marketplace Monday.
Thank you, Geralda, and thank you those out there on live. Look forward to meeting you.
All right, so y'all go on lifeonpower.com, and you know what? Next week, join us right back here, Marketplace Mondays at 7:30. We are talking to professionals in the marketplace. They are grinding, okay, and they want to impart a word of encouragement to all of you. So I'll see you next week. Monday at 7:30. Okay, bye, good night. Oh, good job.